They say your two most valuable resources is time and people. And today, let me tell you, I'm gonna add a third one to it, and it's space, okay? My name's Cam, this is Gnarly's, this is episode number 2, The Build. I'm also blessed. I got my old man here. He's built 2 of his own houses already, so he's kind of a genius. I think this is like a fun little project for him. He's not stressed at all. I know nothing about this, but I want to learn today. I went to ChatGPT and asked him about pricing. Like within a couple bucks, this whole project's going to cost me $1,200. It's not bad at all. One cool thing too is the doors. We leave the door in the same exact space and it swings 180. Well, I'm going to lose all this wall space. We're going to be moving the door right here to the front left of the building. Another huge challenge. This is the support for the roof right here. A big beam going all the way across is going to be the support for the roof. This beam going down the middle is going to be load bearing, so we're stuck with it. This is the sill plate, okay? So this is going to be the bottom. Underneath the sill plate, we're going to use sill sealer. Now this is like gasket, just like building motors or anything else. It's going to keep air, it's going to keep moisture out. So this is going to go underneath the sill plate. Now the first thing we're doing is we're getting all the sill plates in with the sill seal, and we're going to get all of these anchored down. All right, once you get the sill plate down, we're gonna use these cobra wedges right here, and we're gonna blast these into the concrete. So the base plate or the sill plate, these are gonna be every 24 inches, I believe. So you can see this is the beginning of the framing. We marked that out. And then every 24 inches, we're gonna have a drill mark. And these are where all the concrete anchors are gonna go. First, we're gonna drill down into here, then drill to the concrete. Then we can put the cobra wedges into the concrete. Look at Big Mike. So all the sill plates are all in, they're all pre-drilled. We're gonna leave this the way it is. Now we're gonna actually work on framing, and then later on we're gonna come in with a concrete drill and in all the anchors.
All right, so what we've done, we start with our first stud here, okay? So that's 1.5 inches. There's gonna be a stud there. The rest of them are gonna be 16 inches on center. So the center of each stud will be 16 inches. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the edge of the stud, pull our tape, and if you notice on the tape, there's red numbers on these tape measures. They do that on purpose. So your tape measure will have a red number on 16, 32, 48, and all the way down. Every 16 inches, we've put a mark all the way down this board. Now we've laid our other board. This is going to be our top plate. We've laid it beside it. So instead of having to measure that, we just transfer these measurements all the way down, these lines all the way down through.
So this is where the stud's going to be.
This is where
and
the
it's
stud's
going to be every 16 inches.
Now we also put an X to what side of this line our stud's going to go on. We want to make sure we stay on the same line. So we have a stud here, an X. Yeah. We put an X here. We go all the way down.
X down there.
Right. So if you go to the center of these now, center to center, 16 inches. Okay?
No shit.
And then we do it all the way down. Now when we go to put our studs in place, we just line them up on this line to make sure our stud's over the X, and they'll all be exactly up and down.
Same thing.
Yep. This will also tell us if one of our bolt holes landed on 16 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Off of them, we will be able to just adjust that now, make that bolt hole off, so it's not on the stud itself.
Oh. Huh.
Okay.
It's right on? Okay.
Looking at our line, make sure we're flush front and back. Where's that?
Southpaw on it. Guys can do this stuff. I'm telling you. I'm doing it right now. I'm learning. I know nothing about this, but it's simple. Everything that works so well is simple, just like this too. Mechanics, framing, housing, electrical, it's all simple, guys. You guys can do this stuff. So this is actually going up pretty quick, but I asked my dad, I said, why didn't we anchor the sill plate? Why don't you anchor that first? Because that would make more sense to me. And he said, hey, you'll see at the end. Now look. Now you can see the gap on the top is about 1.5 inches, and if we follow this all the way down, it shrinks to no gap. we're not gonna put these anchors in just yet because since we're working with someone else's work, things don't typically line up like it's not right now. Now we could fix this. We could fix this gap with the sledgehammer, we could whack it in, and we could all straighten all these out. You could even go a little bit more, Dad, to be honest with you. I want you to look at it though. Yeah, that's it. You know, he didn't nail this board on purpose because we got to suck this in just like you saw. So now we'll go ahead and nail that board. Then we can put the anchors into the concrete. Keep going. That's one wall done.
Using these swedge anchors. We're gonna drill a 1/2-inch hole into the concrete. Then we're gonna hammer these down in, and when it goes down in, as you tighten the nut, this moves down this tapered shaft, expands on the concrete, it sets itself.
Oh, like a bearing puller. Bearing pullers do the same
thing. It
thing.
gets stronger as you tighten it down.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to use a hammer drill. This is my cheap $80 hammer drill that owes me absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing. Very good investment.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best tools I've bought.
What's the electrical tape for?
So what I'm going to do now, this is going to be where I want the head of the bolt. So what I'm going to do is put a piece of electrical tape on my drill bit.
Yeah.
I got the washer on here. I use the tip of this. This electrical tape is just as a guide to tell me how deep I need to go. I don't want to go any deeper than I have to, and I want to make sure I'm deep enough. So I'll go to this electrical tape and a little more, and then when I hammer it, we'll blow the holes out with some air, get all the concrete out of them, and then we'll hammer this in to that point, and then tighten it up.
Okay, cool.
So we know we're deep enough. And we started. We drilled through the wood before we put the plate in, and then we're going to hammer it. On there, put the ratchet on there.
Goes.
You use the same size concrete drill as the bolt. They're designed for that. So a 1/2-inch bolt takes a 1/2-inch hole.
So we're going to take a line chalk just to make sure the center of our sill plate and our wall is nice and even. So here, we got it right there. I'm touching. What do you think? Still in a little bit? No, that looks perfect. Looks kosher.
Yeah, that's why they call it rough carpentry. Allow me to do all the work. He's been like this his whole life. Built this, we measured, we kept this out purposely 3 inches wider than it needed to be. And we left the bottom in all the way down to keep it straight. Once we got it all framed and anchored, we cut that bottom piece that went across here right out. And then we put these jacks in at the height of our rough opening. So these are at 82.5, which will be our rough opening. And on top of this, we're going to build a header that'll sit like this. And then we'll use cripples, what they call cripples, up above, cripple studs. Actual header on this wall to carry this load, because it's all carried on the outside in that beam there. But we don't know the building inspector here. We assume the worst. So we're just going to put it in and make them happy. And
perfect.
Less can be more. Okay.
The supervisor's here.
We're building a header for over the door. Like I said, we probably don't need it in this application, but we're going to build it anyways, just to keep the building inspector happy. And what we've done, we cut 2 pieces of the 2x6. And we've cut a piece of plywood the same size that we're going to make a sandwich out of it. And the reason we're going to do this is the plywood actually adds rigidity to the wood to keep it from wanting to twist down if there was load on it. It makes it more structurally sound. It also, if we were building with 2x4s, if you put 2x4 on its side, it's 3.5 inches. We're going to be mounting this straight up like that to give it the most rigidity and load bearing And if you had two 2x4s together, it would only be 3 inches. That would leave you a ½ an inch short on mating the inside face and the outside face of the studs.
Because we use 2x6s.
Yeah, but because we use 2x6s, we really don't need it more than the two pieces to make the header. We know we got 5.5 inches. A 2x6 is 5.5 inches wide. We're going to be at 3.5 inches here. That's going to allow us 2 inches of insulation to put a piece of foam board in here. 2 inches of insulation. That's going to create a thermal break to the outside. So our heat isn't going to want to go from hot to cold, transfer through the wall, just like the insulation does. It's not as much, but we'll use a high quality rigid foam, and we'll get the most we can with that. You can use 1.5 inch insulation and then put another piece of plywood on here if you wanted something to attach the sheetrock to, but we know with the foam there, we'll just end up putting longer screws in that'll go through the longer sheetrock screws that will go through the rigid foam and into the header. Yet this will be to the outside.
Beautiful.
Plywood side.
Yeah, so it's going to be flush with the plywood side.
And then you can see up here we got that gap.
But here's where
That's
the gap's
where we're
going
add
to
our
be.
insulation to it.
That's smart. All right. Morning, it's day 2. We're going to finish up. We're going to plywood this off. I'm stoked. You stand in between the 2 garages, you can finally start to see how big it's going to be. And it's just perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect little shop. It's going to be about removing that door, installing that door, and then putting up the plywood. I'm going to put you guys back on a time lapse. We're going to get this plywood set up, and then we're going to get this door in. All right? All right. Let's go. Life rips. Plywood done. We got the zip sheeting, so this is a water.